everyone. This is just going to be a quick video illustrating how to do a few different function problems from the Kaplan SAT course book. So for the first problem that we have, let's look at what this says. In the figure above, what is the value of h0 minus 3g2 minus f2? Okay, so remember what this means. It means these letters, the h, the g, and the f, all correspond to these different graphs right here. And all we have to do is figure out what is the y value that corresponds with this particular x value. So in other words, let's break this down. h0, it means what is that equal to when you plug a 0 in on the x-axis. So the h graph is the parabola right here, right? If you plug in a 0 and match that up with whatever the y value is, we get 4. Okay, so h of 0 is just 4. It just means what's the y value that matches with plugging a 0 in for that particular x value right there. All right, so then, and then the other one we got, okay, so we have 4 minus 3 times whatever the g2 value is. Well, let's look at the g graph, right? The g is this one, right? It's this curvy graph right here. So let's match up when x is equal to 2. What is the y value? It looks like it could be either 7 or 8, but I'm going to guess it's probably this right here. Okay, so that would match with a y value of 8, so we know that that's just 8. And then minus the y value, when the f function is 2. So the f1 is the straight line. Okay, so when we plug a 2 in there for the x value, that would be right here, right? So that would match with blah, blah, blah right there, which corresponds with, it looks like that would be 3. All right, so this is what we should have. And then now, once we've plugged all those numbers in, all we have to do is just solve this little equation here, right? So 8 minus 3, well, that's just 5. And that times negative 3 is going to be 4 minus that. So 3 times 5 is going to be negative 15. So we have 4 minus 15 is going to be negative 11. So our answer choice should be B. Okay? And then, one second, what about this problem right here? Number 3. Clara is one of the 5 contest finalists, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and the question is, which of the following represents Clara's vote count V as a function of t time in days? All we have to do when we are given a chart or table, all we have to do is just try plugging in the numbers into an equation that they gave you and see if it matches. So, for example, let me just pick something at random here. Let's pick this one. Hold on a second. Block that out. Okay, so let's pick this one here. So what this chart is saying is that if I plug a 6 into my formulas, I should get a 75. So let's just try that. Let's see. Let's try it with the first one. If I plug a 6 in, let's see what happens. It's 2 times t squared. So remember, t represents the day, and v represents the vote count. So we plug in, we have 6 for t, so that would be 6 squared plus 3. That would be, well, 6 squared, that's, what is that, 36, and 36 times 2 is 72, and that gives me plus 3 is equal to 75. So that matches, right? If we plug in a 6, we should end up getting a 75. But here's where we got to be careful. Let's try one more just to make sure that it works for everything. Because sometimes the way the questions are crafted, you're going to get something that'll work for one, but maybe not necessarily for everything. So let's try this top one right here. Let's put 3, and we should get 21. So using the same function, we should get 2 times 3 squared plus 3 should be equal to 21. Well, is it? Let's see. 3 squared, that's 9, and 2 times 3 squared, that is 18, plus 3 is equal to, in fact, is in fact equal to 21. So that tells us this should be our correct answer. If you get 2 things that work, your answer is correct. Okay, this was actually random. I did not prep this in advance, so I didn't know that that was going to be the one, but nevertheless, in this case, our answer is going to be A. Again, kind of the summary here is if you're given a table, just plug in your numbers, right? So just make sure that you know what variables are being referred to. So when they said, for example, they said t, the t variable was the days, okay? And then the v variable was the vote count. So when they have v sub t, etc., when they say 2t squared plus 3, etc., make sure that you're plugging in the right variable. In this case, we wanted to do the t column and plug that in. Okay, but that would be our answer.